Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and sometimes Reddit is a bastion of really cool information and sometimes they can attempt to ruin somebody's life for no reason. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about how Reddit almost cost some users, a YouTuber couple, a YouTuber group, to lose basically all of their goodwill and have a bunch of harassment towards them because some users on Reddit, some Reddit detectives, decided not to look for any actual evidence in terms of what they were alleging. Now, to understand, the story starts off with this character here. Now, if you don't know this YouTuber, this is Jin Bop. Okay, now Jin Bop is a YouTuber that collaborated with a lot of, family-friendly channels. They worked with family-friendly video games like Minecraft, and here they're playing Abzu. Now, of course, Jin Bop made a pretty banger video here, and of course, they were last seen uploading 6 years ago. So the reason why I'm bringing this story up is I've had Jin Bop on Google Alerts ever since then. Now, the reason I had Google Alerts set up on Jin Bop was because I like to keep tabs on basically convicted pedophiles on the internet. Yes, Jin Bop was involved in a pedophilic scheme, a situation involving the production, allegedly the production of child pornography in any of those cases. Jin Bop has been to prison. Jin Bop has had the FBI look into him, and if you want proof of this, Jin Bop was actually brought forward into an indictment here in the United States District Court, Eastern District of Michigan, a criminal complaint. And of course, if you go down over here where they talk about with Jin Bop, here Jin Bop was involved with somebody known as MV-1, which is a minor victim who obviously they will not name. Now, in a 37-minute audio and video session on Skype, it was captured between MV1 and Jin Bop, where basically it occurred that MV1's parents, Jin Bop, had discussed trying to convince the victim's parents to travel to Seattle, Washington, for the purpose of meeting them in person. Interstate trafficking, almost, you could say. Zhao and MV1 discussed MV1 performing oral sex on Zhao. Yes, this is a minor. And of course, here you can even see Jin Bop offered to rent a hotel room for the minor victim if they traveled to them in Washington. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, it gets even more disgusting to the point that I can't even discuss it on YouTube because it gets so perverted. Now, of course, you can see that I have no sympathy for a character like this. They were sent to prison. They just recently got released. As far as I understand from the FBI, the Federal Bureau on Good Behavior, I assume they, crossed their T's and dotted their I's in prison, and that's just how things tend to work. Now, I don't believe people like this can truly change, and I don't even think there's any remorse. When you're as disgusting as this individual, there really isn't any coming back. So why did I keep Google Alerts on? Because usually in cases like this, it's not really common, but sometimes YouTubers may return to YouTube after having a past like this and choose to stream to a childlike audience, which is what people believed was happening the other day. Now, of course, to understand what had happened, this is a now deleted post where on one of these subreddits, they had said that the convicted child predator groomer Jin Bop is back making children's content. Now, obviously, this would be massive. And the channel they listed was one known as Trixie and Barry. Now, of course, the evidence here, you might be wondering, whoa, Muda, maybe Reddit decided to go down. Maybe some of these Redditors found that there was some actual causal link between Jin Bop and these streamers. Now, Trixie and Barry were not actually Jin Bop. They were a duo of two individuals who already had their entire names listed here. People who are known as K. Cray and Austin is a Lemur, two individuals that were not Jin Bop. Yet, the only actual evidence Reddit believed to have was the audio sounded similar. The voices sounded familiar. Now, I'm no forensic expert, but unless you get like a forensic check on that audio, you shouldn't just rush in and say, oh, maybe this is the same person. Initially, when I heard this, the voices did sound familiar. But to be honest with you, that's still not enough to go off of. You need actual verified evidence that these people are the same, that Jin Bop was the same person running this channel. It was not. So literally that night, I decided to do what Reddit wouldn't. I actually ended up reaching out to one of the mentioned channels in that description. And they basically told me, no, we weren't involved in this. We weren't that person. You can actually see me right here really early in the morning saying, hey, following this Jin Bop situation. Yeah, the morning's been pretty goddamn nuts. And of course, I pretty much told them I'm really sorry that it's like this, but I just wanted to know your side of the story. And she told me that they were basically hired voice actors by an MCN just basically doing their job. Now again, whatever you want to think of their Roblox content being too kiddie, that's not part of the situation. So their small channel basically got berated by a bunch of Redditors who thought, yeah, maybe this is actually Jinbop. And of course, they destroyed the comment section, destroyed the actual engagement, and pretty much started to begin the process of ruining this individual's life. Now, obviously, with allegations regarding pedophilia, it can absolutely ruin your life, and if it sticks on the internet, this person probably can never get a job. They probably can never collaborate with anybody on YouTube. Effectively, their life comes to a halt for a crime that they never committed, and all because a bunch of overzealous loser Redditors decided that maybe they were onto something when they absolutely weren't. Shit like this burns me as somebody that investigates stories, not just like this, but any story in general. You have to get your facts 100% on the money. If you can't 100% prove something, you don't go around calling people pedophiles and thinking that should be okay. In a normal world, you would absolutely be sued out of oblivion, and you would absolutely, again, you would be sued out of complete oblivion. And again, spreading this information when you haven't 100% verified it is just never okay. And now, of course, thankfully, because, Austin had woken up and basically talked about the situation, basically told him that this wasn't the same situation. He wasn't Jinbop.
But it is 5 in the morning, and I just woke up to all of this stupid drama that's happening of people thinking that I am this groomer YouTuber Jim Bop, and that is who is working on the Trixie and Barry channel, which could not be further from the truth. Let's go ahead and let's just show you. This is my channel right here. Austin is a lemur. We can go ahead and show you that I am literally logged in right here, and we can switch the account literally over here to all of these accounts that I have. And one of them is the Trixie and Barry channel. And I can literally come on here and show you guys literally the analytics page.
Basically, the Redditors finally realized, oh shit, maybe we were wrong, and basically removed the posts. So nobody thankfully tripled down on the situation. You can see right here the post was deleted by the same dipshit who originally posted it. Now, of course, this is just one little story of Reddit almost ruining somebody's life, going half-cocked into an allegation that you should be 1,000 fucking % sure you actually had any, you were actually completely confirmed in. Again, it boils my blood because I've been following these kind of people, and of course, whenever topics like this come up, especially on people that I've Google alerted, I'm always looking into it. Initially, I almost kind of believed it because the voices did sound familiar, and then, of course, reality kicked in half a fucking picosecond later, and I realized if that's all the evidence that you have, maybe you should investigate further. But nope, Reddit does what Reddit does best and decided to jump into a situation and nearly ruin somebody's life over this entire complete misrepresentation of facts, or whatever fact they wanted to believe at the time. Yeah, Reddit is stupid, but thankfully it all ended up pretty well. Thankfully, Trixie and Barry, the channel behind these two individuals, seem to be fine. No harm, really, major harm has been impacted. A lot of the stuff has been pretty much swept under the rug and recalled. And thankfully, that's how it should have pretty much ended. I wanted to look into the story and really double down on these Redditors, but in reality, the fact that they stopped and retracted really quickly is honestly the best possible case scenario that could have happened out of this fucking shit show. Anyways, moral of the story. If you are going to run on these moral crusades and stop all the pedophiles in the world, don't get me wrong, I have no sympathy for these kind of people. Make sure you get your facts straight. Otherwise, you absolutely can ruin the lives of people around you without ever trying just a tiny bit to verify and fact check your statements. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mutahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.